Katie Thurston is our next Bachelorette, and we have everything you need to know about her heading into the season. Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. We are already counting down the days till Katie's season of The Bachelorette, but in the meantime, we did a deep dive into who she is so we could know everything possible before the season gets started. But before we give you all the details, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Avery Grooms. Avery, how excited are you for Katie's season?
I'm so excited, just so ready for a new season. I'm thinking this will be a lot more positive. It's going to be very refreshing having her as the Bachelorette, and I think it's just going to be feel more light. The last season felt very heavy and dark, so I don't want to jinx myself, but I don't see this way or see this season playing out that way. So all positive vibes ahead, hopefully.
I am with you. It really does feel like there's a lot riding on this season. We are all ready for a breath of fresh air. And I'm with you. I think Katie can definitely deliver it. We obviously got to know Katie during Matt's season of The Bachelorette. We know she stands for no BS. She's absolutely hilarious. And she certainly isn't shy. But I have to say, I didn't know too much about her, who she really is in real life when the cameras aren't rolling. So let's keep it simple. Let's kick things off with her day job. She is a bank marketing manager in Renton, Washington. She's also obviously from Washington. Before her time on The Bachelorette, she had a pretty thriving side hustle on TikTok. Who knew? She appears to have downloaded TikTok kind of like the rest of us back in the early days of 2020 when we were adjusting to these crazy times, doing anything to keep ourselves entertained. If you go all the way back to her early content, it is truly so familiar. Definitely puts you right back in those early 2020 vibes. She actually went viral last summer. Speaking on a topic that we have sort of heard her discuss before, let's take a look.
Be honest, who's masturbating more than they normally do? I swear, there was a day where I did it 3 times just because I was bored and I could. It's like when you're hungry and you open the fridge throughout the day, but it's like the same stuff is in there. It's not any better, but you just keep doing it. Like, I'm literally getting tired of getting off on my own.
So if that doesn't feel like Katie being her most authentic self, I don't know what does. I have to say, given her personality, what we saw just from Matt's season, it totally makes sense to me that she would kill it and kind of find a natural audience on TikTok.
Absolutely. Like, she's someone who would naturally kill it on TikTok, especially her just being so open. And she's someone who says kind of what everyone else is thinking. And, people love that. And she's willing to embarrass herself when some aren't. And I just love the honesty. I love the humor. And clearly, everyone else on TikTok does as well, because she was already viral before she was on the show. So kill it, Katie.
I know, absolutely. I have to say, and her Instagram handle, which is Vent with Katie, always I thought was funny, but now watching her TikToks where she really just kind of vents, keeps it real, does real talk sort of comedy bits, it all makes so much more sense. Katie has, of course, been praised very widely for being sex positive and not shying away from topics that, as you mentioned, can be a little more embarrassing to discuss. During an appearance on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast back in January, she said, quote, "It wasn't some agenda that I had coming onto the show. It's just who I am and who I've been this whole time. It wasn't until after the fact that I realized how big of a deal it was, which excites me because I do believe it's 2021 and women should be comfortable talking about their sexuality." Whether it's, confidence in her sexuality or just speaking up, I think back to how outspoken she was about the toxic nature of the house. She's all about staying true to herself, and she doesn't, like to let the nonsense slide. And I think these are great qualities, right? I mean, this is truly why we love her.
Absolutely. I think she's paving the way for a lot of women to be more comfortable about talking about their sexuality. Some people saw it as vulgar. Some people saw it as funny when she brought on the vibrator. But like you said, it was just her being herself. And that shouldn't be something that's so just out of this world, It's kind of normal for her. And Like you said, Fiona, it's 2021. This should be more normalized, and she is making that because, if this was something that happened a couple years ago, I don't want to sound like Chris Harrison and be like in 2018, but people would kind of call her maybe like a hoe, and now it's more accepted. And I just hope she keeps this energy because obviously it's something we all love to see, and it's just her being her true self.
Absolutely. And listen, that limo entrance, when she showed up with her vibrator, it totally went crazy on Twitter. It started such a conversation. It's going to go down as probably one of the most memorable limo entrances ever. And ultimately, she's the next Bachelorette. So clearly, Katie has figured it all out. She is certainly doing something right. Another one of Katie's TikToks humorously reveals what she likes to do in her free time, which is obviously one of the first questions we ask when we get a new Bachelor, Bachelorette. Who are they? What do they like? What are they into? So I figure we just let this video do the talking for itself.
When people ask you what you do for fun, how are you answering that question? Because I like to, I don't know, eat so much that I fall into a food coma and take a nap on a Sunday. I enjoy drinking, sometimes by myself, sometimes with friends. I think sleeping is an excellent activity. Besides all those things, I don't really know what to say. I've been saying camping or hiking, but that's a total lie. And I know there's girls out there who are with me on that. I love hiking. Hashtag Pacific Northwest, hashtag we only went once this year. Okay, so
obviously, that video is hilarious. It is clearly intended as a joke. It is, supposed to be funny, but it's Katie's very specific breed of humor where there is a lot of truth to what she was saying, right? You can tell that she's being funny, but she's also being genuine. And I absolutely love that. I think that's the kind of video where anyone watching can relate to it in some way. And being relatable is kind of the number one quality of being the Bachelorette. Right?
Yes, and that's why she's so well liked by literally everyone. I love this TikTok because it wasn't not only funny, but she called out a lot of people. I know a lot of girls are like, I'm such an outdoorsy girl. I love camping. But, Katie said it. How many times a year do you go camping? Just once? And I love how she's also just casually drinking in the video, starts to slur her words, just being 100% her authentic, funny self. And we just can't get enough of it. And like you said, she's working it, and that's why she is going to be the Bachelorette. And hopefully she just keeps that energy while she's on the show because we love a girl that could just keep it real, is funny, sex positive, and just 100% herself. And that's what Katie is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some of the best Bachelors, Bachelorette are the ones that come in very confident, in themselves and who they are. And if they're able to stay true to that, I think it always makes for a better season. We're getting into the fun facts, you guys. Obviously, we've got cat people, we've got dog people. Katie is a major cat person. She absolutely loves her cat, Tommy. She features him on her social media quite frequently. She actually made a Tommy appreciation post set to Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. That is some dedication. Avery, do we think, we saw Claire's dogs with her for her brief stint as the Bachelorette. Do we think Tommy, now that Katie's in charge and calling the shots, will be a part of her journey? Will he be, along with her as some other man tries to steal her heart? What do you think?
Yes, I'm sure this was even talked about when she got offered to be the Bachelorette. I'm sure she was like, well, Tommy has to come. She stands for what she wants and she's going to get it. So like you said, since Katie's calling the shots, for sure Tommy will be there. I'm sure he'll make an appearance and we'll see her lovely little cat.
I'm so with you. And honestly, I think it's just cool since we are doing these seasons where they're in a bubble. Usually the Bachelorette is traveling all around the world. She really has to walk away from her life. She's constantly packing a suitcase, jet setting. And that's a fun part of the journey, I'm sure, for the person and for us at home. But in these bunkered down locations, I want to see her with her cat, right? Let's let her have a little piece of home there with her while she tries to, navigate this crazy journey. Obviously, in that video, she did joke about people, saying they're outdoorsy, saying they're sporty, whatever. But I have to say, if you do a deep dive on her Instagram, she does look pretty sporty. She shared a video on there of herself peppering, which is a popular volleyball warm-up drill. If you are a total, volleyball loser like me, I had to look that up. Not sure how common it is. She captioned that post, "To the person in my life who asks, do you want a pepper? The answer is always yes." So that to me seems like a fairly avid volleyball player right there. She also shared a post from the time she successfully climbed Mount St. Helens. So I don't know about you, Avery, but I certainly am not climbing mountains in my spare time. Just from her Insta, we can also see lots of posts of her, outdoors on the water, sometimes with a beer in hand. So it's not necessarily like she's a super avid outdoorsman in general. But I sense some fun outdoorsy dates in her future. I mean, if she's up for climbing, playing volleyball, being on the lake, it seems like they might be able to do a lot of fun stuff.
I think so too, and that really excites me. Obviously, she is an outdoors girl. She doesn't just say that because we see all the Instagram photos to back it up. So, knowing Katie, I'm sure she'll probably take part in coming up with the ideas for the dates, and I'm sensing a lot of outdoorsy, active types of interactive dates, and I'm just really looking forward to it, especially in New Mexico. I don't really know much about the area they're filming, but it excites me because I like when it's more of a surprise, and I feel like there's going to be a ton of surprises this season and a lot of outdoorsy dates because Katie is an outdoorsy girl.
Yeah, she does strike me as someone who's like adventurous. That's not her main character trait, but she is someone who's down for a good adventure if it's presented to her. So I think she's going to have a lot of fun group dates, one-on-ones, all that jazz. She has been gaining steadily a larger and larger platform since appearing on Matt's season. And of course, since being announced as the next Bachelorette. And something I love whenever someone from Bachelor Nation ends up with a huge platform is when they use their audience for good. And that is something we are already seeing Katie do. She teamed up with Be the Match, which is an organization that helps match donors willing to do a blood stem cell transplant with patients who have blood cancer, leukemia, other blood disorders. Basically helps match donors with patients in need. And, we talk about how funny she is. We talk about how, out there, she doesn't shy away from difficult conversations. But she really has a good heart. And I think it's really great to see her already using her platform, to help make a better impact in the world.
I love to see this, with someone with such a big platform, especially in times like these. It's important to use it in the most positive way you can. And, we saw Katie use her voice on the show when speaking up about things that weren't always addressed properly, and she handled it so well, and now she knows where she stands on media and she's doing things like this. It's just great to see. And like you said, she's so funny, she's so sex positive, but she's also so caring. And I'm not just saying she's caring, like we can see it. She genuinely cares about people and wants to do good. And these are all the best qualities that the Bachelorette should have. So I just, she checks all the boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. It's like every time I'm like, okay, well, what is her stance on this? What does she have to say about that? Is she funny? Is she outgoing? It's like literally all of the things that we hope for. She seems to be passing with flying colors, at least so far. But let's get into what we know she's looking for in a partner, because obviously now it's all about her. It's her journey to find love. And we do have some concrete details here. We can go back to her bio for Matt James's season, where she literally, she had to spell out what she was looking for. In that bio, it says, Katie is serious about finding her person. She needs a man who can laugh along with her, but is okay with him laughing at her too when the moment calls for it. And I have to say, after seeing her interact with Matt, she can totally be a little bit of a ball buster. She needs someone who can meet her there and not be intimidated by that. Next, it says Katie is looking for a mature man who has ambitions to succeed in everything he does, both personally and professionally. Her dream man will be passionate about building a long-term life with her and will treat Katie as an equal as his in the relationship. Again, now that we know her a little bit, this feels so spot on. Katie is 30. She knows who she is, what she wants. She is not looking for some guy who, is dragging his feet professionally or personally. And Katie is not going to have it with any guy. I mean, I'm picturing Yosef's nonsense from Claire's season. Like, that is not going to fly with Katie. And it shouldn't. So good for her. Lastly, it says here, nothing turns her off more than someone who sits around playing video games all day. Or, and this part I found interesting, a man who tries to kiss her at the inopportune moment. It's all about creating the right vibe with Katie. So we didn't really see that come into play, in Matt's season with the clips we saw of her. But it will be interesting knowing this now if some of the guys are too into PDA or, going for it at the wrong moment on her season, that could be a deal breaker. So something to look out for. I feel like I don't doubt her when she says she knows what she wants. I think she does. She's going into this with a very clear head.
Oh, yeah. Based off of what you just read here, she laid it all out. I mean, the guys should probably just take notes because she's like, A, B, C, this is what I want. And like, it very well said as usual. And like you said, she's not going to take any BS. Like if Yosef was on there, he would not last. And hopefully maybe we get someone like that just to have a little bit of drama and controversy. I just want to see how she handles a situation like that. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good season. I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like Katie is going to pick a person that she will end up staying with for hopefully the rest of her life. She really knows what she wants and she's clear about that and she's not going to settle for any less. And she really just needs a guy that can mirror her energy and her humor and be there for her, and I know she's gonna go after that.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, literally what she said on Good Morning America was, I'm ready to find love and not just the temporary kind. I'm talking forever, my husband. I'm in a place in my life where I feel I'm the best version of me. Honestly, I've seen it work before. Why can't it work for me? So to your point, I am with you. I think there is a really good chance that if they cast the right man for her, she is going to trust her gut, follow through, and be in it for the long haul. I really do think going into the process with such a clear headspace, there's no reason it couldn't work for her.
No, there's literally no reason it couldn't work for her. So I just fingers crossed it better, because if someone like this can't pick the right person, then actually I do have no faith in the show. But we've seen it work before. Katie's seen it work before. She's had a little experience of being on the show and a lot of life experience to bring on with her. So positive vibes. I have faith in her. It's going to be a good season.
Yeah, I am right there with you. And we talked about this in another video. I trust Katie. So whether she's walking away from this with a ring on her finger or walking away from this just ready to commit to someone and see where it goes, I feel like she's going to make the right choice at the end of the day and, listen to her heart, trust her gut, which is really all we can ask for. As far as what the season's going to look like, we do have some info about that. There are 34 potential contestants ranging in ages from 25 to 36. It's a very diverse group of men. ABC released their photos on Facebook like they do. This isn't like the final lineup. It was released with the caveat of this is who you might be seeing. We actually did a whole video reacting to that, giving our first, predictions just based on the breadcrumbs of information we have at this point. So if you haven't checked that out already, go do it and let us know in the comments, what stands out to you from their images, some little details we could steal from social media. I love to make super early predictions and then just see where it goes. In addition to the men, we know, like you mentioned, Avery, they're shooting in New Mexico, supposedly at the Hyatt Regency Tamaya Resort and Spa. This is considered a 4.5-star hotel for all of you hotel people out there. And it says that it has 3 outdoor pools, 1 whirlpool, in addition to a yoga wellness studio. Activities available include hot air balloon rides, golf club, and tennis courts. So this sounds like one of those hotels that screams, come shoot the Bachelor here. It sounds like a little combo of Tayshia's, a little combo of Matt's. Hopefully she gets a similar budget to Matt's season. I think they kind of worked out the kinks with Tayshia and Claire. This looks like a beautiful property though. I have no doubts that the resort and all of the activities will be incredible. We also know that Caitlin Bristow and Tayshia Adams will be stepping in for Chris to help Katie with her journey. It's certainly going to be different. I mean, just right off the bat, we have the bubble format, which while we're used to, it's a completely different property, completely different activities. And then, we're not going to have Chris. We're going to have 2 hosts, 2 women, 2 former bachelorettes. A lot of fans have been protesting Chris's absence, but a lot are thrilled. There's definitely was going to be some controversy no matter where they went with this next season. Katie actually addressed this while she stopped by Good Morning America, saying about the viewers who aren't interested in watching because of, no Chris. She said, "I think they're on the wrong side of history. It's 2021. I support Chris and everything that he's doing. I think that this is the best decision. I really feel like this is the big reset. There have been a ton of uncomfortable conversations, but important conversations." So I think it goes without saying, there's a lot of pressure to get it right this time around. With Katie, with Tayshia, with Caitlyn, with, the changes they say they're making behind the scenes, do we think they can? Do we think they're going to rise to the moment?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of pressure on last season and it pretty much crumbled under pressure. But, Katie's statement was very well said. I think this is for the best and this is the best decision to have Tayshia and Caitlyn also co-host, and that will also be good for Katie to have former bachelorettes also be there with her. They could give her advice, just girl to girl talk. Chris Harrison isn't the bachelor. He's just the host. So that's not what the show's about. It's about the lead. And I think we need to kind of steer away from that and focus on what the whole premise of the show is. And that's now Katie finding love. And I think she'll be able to do that regardless if Chris is there or not. And, more power to her. And now she has Caitlyn and Tayshia backing her. I think it's setting her up for success ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Chris controversy, whether or not he's coming back, when he's coming back, that is a very complicated conversation that we have had over and over again on this channel as new details continue to emerge. But from a personal place, I'm just imagining myself as the Bachelorette to have 2 women who have been through it before able to be there and support you no matter what happens, seasons down the line. I think Katie's kind of got it made. I mean, she is in a unique position. So it's going to be interesting to watch her season. We cannot wait to see how it plays out, when it's going to get started, you guys. As new details continue to emerge, we will, of course, keep you posted. That is everything we have for you on Katie right now. But if we learn anything else, you will be the first to know. On that note, we want to know what you're thinking heading into next season. Are you excited? Are you ready for it? Let us know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so we can keep you updated on all things Bachelor Nation. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. I was joined by the wonderful Avery Grooms. If you want to come say hi, our social handles are on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.